Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're back again. Myself, Big AO, Joe Hulbert, another Wrestle Purist live stream before Dynamite. Of course, we're going to be talking, the latest reports, some of the stuff regarding, AEW and the Elite contract talks, negotiations, what's going on there. I want to talk, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, about this new investment of what WWE is putting into NXT because it interests me. See if it actually works. It might. It probably won't, but we'll see. And we're going to preview Dynamite. What else have I got down? And we'll just talk, like I said, we'll talk the latest reports, rumours, whatever you guys want us to talk about. First things first, please like, subscribe, super chat, always appreciated. And man, I hope everyone's doing good. Starting with my co-host, Big AO. You got here at the buzzer. How are you doing today?
Don't put this bullshit on me. I got
No, I'm not.
I got in here 6:21.
You give me a warning, so I was wondering what you was doing.
Man, I alerted the boss, man. You feel me? Like 30 minutes beforehand. It's gonna be at the buzzer. You feel me?
Yep.
I got here like 6:21. 2 minutes. The tweet was out. Joe, same thing. Yep. We was just waiting on Monty, bro. Camera off. He was just kicking it. Monty wasn't doing shit over there. I don't know what he had going on.
We were talking grabs, bro. We were talking 2018 WWE.
I was ready to go live at 6:30. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anything behind that, it's not my fault. But
the message had me worried. That's all, man.
I'm here. I believe Chuck is at a One Direction concert. Hope she has fun. Some people just aren't dedicated to the brand like us three. Just three black fans just getting after it. You feel me? I love Wrestle Pure so much that I skipped going to the show tonight. Skipped watching the reformation of the Hung Bucks for y'all. And also because I put on my mother that I wasn't spending any more money on AEW until they re-signed the Elite. But also because I love y'all. So
real. That's that real pro, Everyone needs an AO on the team. Joe Hulbert, my other co-host tonight. How are you doing today, man?
I'm terrific, man. I'm actually very fired up for tonight's Dynamite. I mean, it's usually a good show.
With you?
I'm actually really excited for it. I think it looks awesome. Like, I think it's, and not only does it look good, I think it's actively interesting. Like, I'm not a huge Adam Cole fan, but I think this match is genuinely intriguing as to what they're going to do. It's kind of it's an interesting situation they're in here. So, I'm excited, and also it's like you have the Collision deal coming up. So, I'm intrigued both in terms of the show looks great, but also how much or how little Collision hype do we get coming out of it, and so on. So I think it's a very interesting time. So I'm pretty fired up personally, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Also fired up for my weekly Dynamite. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna preview it. We're gonna do all that good stuff. And man, let's dive into this first subject. I want to start with the Elite, basically. So of course, there's been a Fightful Select report. That's what we're kind of going to go off here. And it's looking pretty promising, according to this, that they will be retained.
Look, man. The Elite, we as a unit need to move just smart when figuring out this contract situation. I'm going to call the big homie Kenny. I'm going to call the Bucks. I'm going to call Hangman. We're gonna make sure that all the protections and provisions that are necessary in this contract for us to re-sign to AEW are implanted into the contract. There's a lot of things going on in Jacksonville that I'm not a fan of right now. As the Elite's resident online spokesperson, I just can't sign off on a lot of things that are going on right now. This Saturday, Malarkey, it's just a loogie in the face of the spirit of All In. Cody Rhodes, God bless his soul, is just rolling over in his grave right now. Rest in peace, Cody, man. We miss you every day, Cody. We love you. Adrenaline. I don't know where I'm fucking going with this.
Yeah, you just keep going and digging, Oh man, it's fair to say, but you're pretty invested in this one, But according to Fightful Select, they asked for an update this week. They were told that the deals are not done yet. However, both sides have felt like several deals had been close, with one side noting that could have been said for several months, and not a lot has changed on that front. People in AEW are confident they'd retain the Elite despite CM Punk returning to the company. It also says we're told that most people in AEW expect that each man will remain in AEW on significant money increases. There's also a little bit about, of course, WWE sources said if they would become available, of course, they'd be interested in all of them. Yeah, man, of course they would. That's not surprising, but it doesn't look too likely that it will get to that stage. Of course, AEW would be the favourites to retain that signature. Even if Tony has to pay and pay and pay, and at the end of the day, if you followed AEW from the start, you'd guess that they deserve it. So, Ayo, where are you really at on this?
Look, Ryan, I don't like how the Elite have been disrespected. There's a lot of nastiness going on.
In what sense?
I just hope that they're paid their worth, no matter where they go, whether that be Stanford or Tokyo or maybe even Nashville.
That was a step too far.
I'm trying to poke around with AO to see what he's, you know what I mean?
Look,
trying to get through the layers. He's talking about Nashville. Yeah.
Look, where's NWA based these days?
Bring it back.
Yeah.
We might have to go down there.
Bro, there would be the remaining 500 NWA fans would be so mad if it became an Elite promote. Could you imagine? That
would be so.
That would be an incredible development.
I would love to see what they'd be able to do for the company. Well, I wouldn't love to see, but it would be interesting to see. In all seriousness, though, I just feel like the Elite deserve more respect than they're given at AEW. And if they're not going to get their respect, give them their commas. We need 10 million each.
That would put them in a very, very elite bracket. Because as we all know, people talk about MMA fighters being underpaid. You should look at some of these WWE salaries, and
it's pretty nice.
And obviously AEW I'm sure they're no absolute angels in that regard either, because it's just industry standard, and that's not even a shot at either company. It is what it is, sort of thing.
Like even if you just look at WWE, right? Multi-billion-dollar company. You got people on TV every week making $250,000. That's kind of crazy. Like Shotzi,
and less too, I believe. Personally, I know Nick Khan,
Shotzi Blackheart was on the main roster and had a GoFundMe set up for her father, bro. I just feel like there was a lot of debate about that and shit, but I just feel like it shouldn't even be on the table that's something that needs to be happening, bro. They always brag about their record profits this, record profits that. And I'm sure AEW is paying the exact same shit, right? Maybe their guaranteed minimum is a little bit lower, but they're not a multi-billion-dollar company, at least not yet. So,
like I said, it's the industry standard. Like even at the top, WWE, AEW, of course, being the alternative, which Tony Khan talked about earlier on the post-wrestling WrestleNomics interview. It's just it kind of is what it is. Hopefully, kind of, I don't know what the wrestlers would have to do, whether that's unionizing, which seems like it's never. It's like,
that's never fucking happened.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but anyway, it's kind of derailed us a bit. Joe, where are you at on this Elite thing? Do you think they resign, or do you think it might even get close to them actually getting out of there? And Kenny might go to Japan. The Young Bucks might go and get a WWE check. They might go all together somewhere. Who knows?
It might get close in terms of the actual date. Just that's how negotiation can be. But I don't think there's any chance, to be honest. Because the main reason being because they want to stay together. And as you kind of just alluded to, I think their obvious destinations are very different. So staying together to me, unless we, while we're talking real money and not talking about some of the alternatives they go through forward in terms of Nashville and so on and so forth, it means AEW. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say the Bucks would not be desperate to do a New Japan. I don't know if that's something they need to do anytime soon. I don't know if they want to do that. I think Kenny could absolutely negotiate a big match contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It'd be worth their while to pay him that way.
Yeah.
But it just, especially honestly, I totally get the point about I was kind of getting into about the in a lot of ways, what's currently happening with Collision is like disrespectful in itself. I totally get that. But at the same time, it also makes it more imperative to keep the Elite as the actual like home main show on Wednesdays, right? Because it's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the idea of doing all this Collision thing and then like if the Elite guys leave anyway, it's like Collision is just Dynamite also now. That's even worse than if they'd lost them beforehand. And it was already a catastrophe. So yeah, I mean, it's inevitable to me this day, and that's the way it should be, and the way that it needs to be for AEW to have any kind of chance of living on. I think personally. So yeah,
Yeah, they're definitely vital to the promotion, and as anybody would point out, those guys don't go on the runs that they do leading up to 2018, 2019. We don't get this company. Tony Khan doesn't take that gamble, etc., etc., etc. So of course, it would be absolutely vital to try and keep them around as long as possible. Even if you have to pay for your nose. Yeah, man. Let's move to the next thing.
We need equity, brother.
Something tells me that won't be the kind of deal that
equity,
they're
brother.
going for. I think they just want the cash, brother. That's straight cash. But yeah, I think AO mentioned we don't actually hear much about like the exact numbers, but it's it'd be interesting to kind of hear what sort of reports come out regarding that. If any do.
if they get what they want, you'll probably hear about it. That's usually the way it works in professional wrestling. If negotiation goes as intended, it may find its way to a medium, but if not, maybe we'll keep it quiet for now. That's generally the way professional wrestling works. Which, to be clear, that's real graps, so nothing wrong with
Fair. Let's do a couple of super chats. We have got a couple. Please keep them coming. Always appreciated. Hold on, my screen's not loading now. Got it.
Okay.
Pizza Dog, $1.99. Can't believe AO ended FTR Bull's career.
Look, man, it was looking dark for me on Twitter for a little bit. And then, hour later, those fucking losers found a new drama to obsess over.
They did? They found something else to get mad at on Twitter? I didn't know about this.
Speaking of getting mad at nothing on Twitter, poor Joe Holbert, man.
Bro.
Just tweeted about some graphs that he liked, bro. And then all these little insecure fucks who was like, yo, maybe this does look a little bit funny. Just started crying in his mentions.
It was unbelievable.
That shit was... Bro, I feel like if you wrote the exact same sentence and it was like a shooting star press off of fucking Cage or whatever, people would have understood what you meant. Right. But like, it's just like, this is like this insecurity of like people in their fandom and they're just trying to justify why they like something and shit. It's just like, just stop crying, bro.
It was very funny, I will say. I was with my friend last night and I showed him it kind of playfully because initially people got it and there was just a few freaks that thought it was a botch, right? And so I showed him, look at this shit. This is a good bit. And I turned my phone off because we're going in the cinema. And I came out 3 hours later and said, I maybe should have cleaned this up before I went in the cinema because it was a very different scene that I returned to. The natural was feeling a certain way about it. And I mean, if nothing else, it served as an incredible case study of how like absurd that app has become in regards to wrestling conversation, right? Like it's gone, man. People were so mad. All I said was, look at this. That was what I said.
That is literally all you said.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was, in that way, you had to appreciate it. It was like, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
You're the worst person in the fucking world to some people.
I know, it was something. There you go, folks. It is what it is.
The wild app of Twitter.com.
Fuck Dax Harwood, by the way.
Oh, come on. Jack Greed.
Lost like 15 followers over that, bro. Like, come on, man. What's going on?
All right, Jack Grealish, $2. Appreciate you. Congratulations on the trouble. What does provisions mean?
A contract. So provision is to provide something, Mr. Grealish, you fraud. And a contract provision would mean to provide something. Like you provide guarantees in a contract. So when you say I want provisions in this contract, it means you guaranteed a little something. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Go United.
Daxiax again. $5. You can't kill me, AO. With Ibu by my side, we'll take you down once and for all.
This is fucking crazy.
Showtime Spurs, $2. If TK fumbles the Elite, he's the new Jerry Cross.
He's worse than Jerry Cross. He fucking... Who is worse than Jerry Krause? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
He'd
The
be
thing is, though,
fucking-
would you?
He'd be Montel. Nah.
So
No,
in this analogy, are we saying that Tony's like promotion of the year awards or his NBA championships? Is that what we're saying? That's
Yeah,
like his
he
because
just
he has
got-
banners, right? Like,
How many he's got nowadays? Like 3? He's just got 3 rings.
yeah, got a ways to go yet, Chief. You got a ways to go
Yeah.
yet, brother.
TK's got 3 rings.
Just 3 rings.
Do you remember though? Back at Dailies, they actually had the banners. Do you remember that? It was like best weekly
I remember
TV
that
show.
shit. That was a little much. As someone who doesn't mind them celebrating their accomplishments in kayfabe, that was fucking.
I don't know,
a
man.
little much, man.
Like you're right, but like a banner is fucking incredible. You know, like that's the idea of them taking that on the road is extraordinary. Can you imagine?
Yo, could you just imagine they were just hanging it up in arenas across the country, bro?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Showtime Spurs. It would be a hell of a fumble. It seems at this point, especially now. It seems like like after All Out, it seemed like if Punk comes back, people are all going to storm out the door. Like that was like the perception that was being portrayed at one point. And obviously things have clearly settled at least to an extent because Punk is obviously back, and he's not back in the buildings just yet, but. Everyone knows he's coming back, and he's coming back this Saturday. So, as far as we've heard, nobody's walked out. So, we'll see.
You suggesting, Monty, that wrestlers maybe wasn't telling the truth when they said things like, I will actually walk out if CM Punk returns? Is that what you said?
I think, someone please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe Sean, he wasn't a full-on report, but it was just something he included in one of his reports. And it was like, yeah, some of the people that mentioned maybe possibly walking out. It's like we hadn't heard any of that. He was like, he was like, we haven't heard any talk about that in a long time.
Wrestlers, just stop mentioning walking out. You're never walking out.
Ever. Never, ever.
You would see a promoter like just smack your mother across the face, and you still would not walk out. All right, just stop, bro. Like it's embarrassing every time y'all do this. Remember all the Vince news, like Vince is gonna do this week. Vince is gonna be back this week. Everyone's like, oh, that's it this time. I'm walking out, brother. No, you're not. You're not walking out.
All Triple H had to say to him was he won't be here next week. And they're like, sweet, see you then, brother.
Hope my creator's good.
Yeah. Wrestlers, funny, isn't they? Excuse me. Frank, 499. Appreciate you very much. It does pop me huge that Collision is basically AEW's penal colony of TK's enemies. The show logo should be a kangaroo. Wow.
A
bit harsh,
That's spiteful.
Yeah.
It really is the island of misfit toys, bro. Like Punk exiled himself, and then there's Andrade's situation, there's Scorp's situation, which people don't know I don't know the fucking details of. I don't know why there's beef there, but there is. There's the Miro situation. It's just like, and everybody else, it's just like, yo, like, Punk, take a couple of your friends and everybody else who I don't want on my face right now. It seems like kind of a powder keg, in my opinion, in my non-biased, opinion.
I respect that, mate. You always call it as you see it. Down the middle.
Just straight down the middle.
Yeah, bro. I think, honestly, it's so apparent with the posters that I honestly think they should lean into it. Like, again, I like Scorpio Sky, but him being on it is like, it's like telling the audience that's what it is. It's like, remember those folks you don't see anymore? But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting if they even lean into that, or we'll see.
It's interesting to lean into anything at this point.
Yeah.
It's been.
Fans
we'll see what they do.
What Collision is. Like, if you're just not online all the time in the internet wrestling community, what are you supposed to expect from Collision? It's like, oh, Punk's back. Like, what? I don't know, bro.
I was just doing a solo stream about it, and I was saying to our Grin audience about like my dad's reaction to the main event for Collision episode 1. He's just like, I guess. And he loves like CMFTR should, but to him it's kind of like he doesn't understand what. I mean, I can explain to him like this will be the show where Punk's friends play, but that doesn't really move. That's not like to him. That's not like real grabs.
Really
the rollout's been rough, man. It's not been ideal at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what they should have done instead, but just not this.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe that whole where the bad boys play shit that Ibu suggested. Maybe that would have worked. I don't know.
just just something. AEW has often been criticised for expecting their audience to just know and be like
Yeah,
super
just
tapped
no.
in online. And I think in this case, when you're launching a new TV show, they've maybe lent on that, as you suggested, AO, a bit too much, to say the least. So, and even if that is what they've done, it's like they still could have done a bit more with that. So, like I said earlier, see what they do tonight. Considering this is kind of their last chance to really like give people a hook who haven't already got one. So we will see what we'll see. We're going to do a proper preview tomorrow after we do our Dynamite review as well. So we'll see where that goes. Manny the Hooper's definitely going to have some takes. Pizza Dog 199. This is for Joe. Keep being the sweetest, dude. Nah.
That's too nice. That's way too nice, especially for one of these programs. That's too
Shout out
nice.
to the Imperious mascot, Pizza Dog.
Absolutely. Anytime I see that pop out on the screen, it pops me. So absolutely, I agree. Tremendous.
Dan Walker, £5. Oh, this one seems spiteful. Why is Jake Hager wrestling tonight? Can he be sent somewhere else? Rather have a 6-person tag with Team Jarrett versus Aubrey, Mark, and Papa Briscoe.
Well, hold on.
I don't know about that.
Hold on. Am I the only one here who believes in All Japan Pro Wrestling? That's why Jake Hager's wrestling, brother. You need a shooter on the show. Have you heard about his collegiate background? Have you heard Jim Ross? Look,
A little Nokiaism for you.
I gotta be honest with you, okay? And I know where you guys stand on Jim Ross, but he's never sent me down the wrong path before, and he told me there's upside, and when it clicks, and it will click. He made it clear it will click. Jake Hager will be a player, so I'm just waiting. I mean, you got to be patient with these things.
Just at 44 years old, Joe Hogan's still waiting for Jake Hager to hit his prom.
Well, I mean, some guys are late bloomers. It happens. I mean,
that was a guess.
You gotta give him some time. I mean, he's only been on TV for what we're looking at now, 16 years
41.
or so.
It's only 41.
He's 16 years deep. Give him another 10 or 20, he might be fucking rolling for all we know. You got to give these fellas time to figure it out.
Man, this is a former world champion we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
And only the best achieves that feat, as you know. That's the height of our sport. So absolutely, keep it in mind, folks. Let it play out.
Yeah, man. All right. Keep the super chats coming. We appreciate them as always. Next subject. Let's do. I want to talk about this NXT, man. Fuck it. Don't care how you two feel about it. I want to talk about it. There seems to be a genuine effort from them to try and give a bit more life to it, in terms of like throwing all the main roster stars down there. The whole there was a report earlier or a few days ago or something that Sean done, and it was like, like the whole free agent thing, and kind of how everyone scoffed at it when they saw it, and rolled their eyes at it. So, according to this report, he's been told that this time there was kind of more of a plan for it, and of course in recent weeks it does seem like that was the case with like Ali and Corbin Pop going into featured programs on NXT. You got Rollins. Rollins is going to be defending his world title against Braun Breaker next week on NXT, and of course there's the other main roster people I've just mentioned. There's other people who kind of I don't want to say they don't have a place on the main roster because that would be quite spiteful, but they're not exactly people you see on TV every week. The Dana Brooks, the Los Lotharios, people like that. But in the past month or so, there has been all those names that I've just mentioned showing up on NXT. I can't remember exactly who reported it as I was looking through it just before we went live. It was probably either Sean, PW Insider, or Dave. So make of that what you will. But apparently, Nick Khan is literally trying to get the ratings up again by using this WWE main roster star cheat code that he seems to have decided upon. And I'm just wondering, do you think there's any chance at all that it works? You'd expect that Seth Rollins pops a number next week?
Yeah, but people look. If I was a WWE fan, right, who didn't watch NXT, and this is agendas aside, you're not going to get me to watch the show saying I can watch Baron Corbin beat Ilya Dragunov. That's not making me start watching NXT. If anything, I'm just laughing at the show harder. What is this, bro? This is one of the best wrestlers in the company. You still have him in that warehouse, and now he's putting over Corbin. Get that shit out my
Yeah.
fucking face, bro. I'm not watching.
That's a
that
big
shit.
part of it as well, because I think they're misunderstanding the potential audience that they may be going for. So, like, say if they're trying to get some of those black and gold fans back that have like, disappeared into AEW, you know,
They're not turning. They're not looking for Baron Corbin and Dana Brooks.
yeah,
bro.
exactly. So it's like, yeah, the idea of having main roster stars on the show who people are familiar with, like that idea as a premise works. But when it's Baron Corbin beating Ilya Dragunov, I don't think that's what that particular fan base is looking for to draw them back into NXT. You know, of course, Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. That's of course like the big outlier. What we're talking about. You know, I know he's very popular online as well, Mustafa Ali. People seem to be very fired up in, you know, he's working around and teaming up with like Tyler Bate and Wes Lee. He's in the North American title picture, it seems. So, you know, people online seem to be very fired up about that. But yeah, it's like, will it actually work? And again, when you're doing shit like what AO's just mentioned, it seems like a misuse. But as a premise, I think it might work. You know, it'll give them some sort of jolt. Like I said, people will probably be tuned in next week a lot more than usual. So, what do you think, Joe?
I think the big question is, what do you want the show to be in an ideal world? What is the show's purpose? Because the other kind of factor at play here, and the elephant in the room with NXT, is what I consider to be NXT's glory days was not on television. There was still not that many people watching that show, you know? Like, if you take 2017 NXT, as much as I loved it, and you put it out as a weekly TV show on the USA Network, people would think it was fucking boring. And I adored the show, but there was squash matches for most of the show, you know? So it's like, I think it goes without saying that at this point in the game, the correct kind of approach for NXT is not the super indie. That time's come and gone. You know, as soon as AEW emerged, that was a close.
Leave the memories alone.
Yeah, but honestly, bro, not even that. It's like, it's all reflection of the industry surrounding it, right? And in those years, they basically created their own alternative to WWE in-house because there was no major league alternative in the States, basically, as well. And when AEW emerged, whether you like NXT more than AEW then or whatever, it's like that then took that audience. And so there you have to ask yourself, what do you do with NXT now? Do you go all in on the branding the way they did with 2.0 of this is the future, actually? I mean, I guess you can, but it feels like that's what you just tried, right? To me, right now, NXT post 2.0 is like this sort of weird mix of these ideas.
Yeah.
And it has no identity. I couldn't explain to you what it is, you know? Sorry I cut you off, Monty, but, you know, for example, the last TakeOver show, or special, whatever the fuck, Dragunov and Dijak, okay? Why is that in NXT? I'm not saying I have a beef with it. I'm just saying, like, Dijak is clearly not, you know, Dijak's been signed for, what, 5 years now? I mean, he's not like he's doing flatbacks in PC, right? Yeah. Dragunov, to AO's point, is one of the best wrestlers in the whole company. So it's like, so what is it? It's just like a mix of ideologies. Maybe you could explain better when you watch the show, but I don't know.
Brilliant. Well, that's the point. Like, I'll watch the show, like, we cover it, you know, we do full-on coverage on the sites and stuff now. But, bro, I couldn't tell you what the real definitive identity of the show is. It's literally exactly what you just said. It's like this mix of ideologies, but it's like a little bit of NXT 2.0, a little bit of trying to get the memories back of Black and Gold, you know. Then there's a little bit of, you know, fucking reality TV in the middle. Like, it's I don't know what it is, bro. You know, and I watch it every week. Hilariously.
And if you can't answer that question, it's going to be hard to grow it beyond where it has, right? Because it's like, what's the hook? We all have enough wrestling to watch. Yeah. So why do I need to watch NXT? If you can't answer that question, I think it's very hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean's cooking down there personally, but I don't know what sort of direction he's getting, if any. You know, I don't know if Triple H and new powers that be are like, you know, Sean, take this and do whatever, you know, and we're going to concentrate up here. Or is he giving notes? Is he, you know, I don't know. Then, as you said, like the placement of talent's really weird as well, you know. So
Corbin was definitely Sean, get this nigga out of my fucking face situation. Get this motherfucker out of my face.
The other issue is, while there's a lot of great talent on Raw and SmackDown, I don't think it's unfair to say there's not like an absolute onslaught of star power right? Like they're still trying to make guys on the main roster and trying to elevate guys so they have a healthy main event. And I think they're still working on that. So you can't even like, I remember in 2019 there was that pitch of what if they just send Kevin Owens to NXT for a bit? And it's like, imagine pitching that now. It's like, absolutely not, bro. We need to have a good match on Raw every week. Like it's I think it's in a really interesting spot. And I think in an ideal world, it would be a streaming product that goes an hour and features 20 talents that you actually want to develop and focus on. Clearly, that's not Nick Khan's plan for it. So what they find will be, I think it'll be pretty challenging personally. Maybe they've got something up their sleeve. We'll see.
All right. Like I said, I just wanted to touch on it a bit because, NXT is a fucking fascinating TV show at the minute. That doesn't mean I particularly think it's great. I think judging from this conversation, I think you can pretty much tell that I don't. But we'll see what they actually, if they do come up with some ideology with, because what are you sending these main roster stars down for? Not just to pop a rating every couple of weeks, or are you actually trying to build something down there? It's like you're gonna have Braun. I'm sure you'll have a really good match with Seth, and Seth will go over, and but like, what's the point? Because in my opinion, Braun's pretty much as close as it gets to like, in terms of NXT, doing literally every last thing he could possibly do down there. So it's then you're doing that, knowing full well that Braun is probably moving up to the main roster soon. And then you could argue that you're doing that so Braun has more, some more momentum going up to the main roster. But it's weird, man. But yeah,
Brett to inform the people. I just checked Brandon Thurston's Twitter, and Baron Corbin, Dana Brooke, and Mustafa Ali did not pop a number for NXT last night. So, in case you were wondering if Baron Corbin was going to bring in the Baron Bucks, he did not. So,
one of the great agendas died tonight, fellas.
Yeah, man. And Corbin is a draw agenda. I think we can finally put this debate to bed.
We got any guesses for what Seth pops on next Tuesday?
I'm looking at the comments. I see a couple people being like, "Yo, Seth's doing 800K." And I was like, if that's the bar, then you might be disappointed. I don't think.
So what was last night's show? What was the viewership for last night?
560,
580, 2016.
I mean,
0.16.
I don't like saying the phrase "in fairness to Seth," but in fairness to Seth, like if you're a big Seth Rollins fan, like you see he wrestles every Monday. I mean, it's not like he's.
It's not like you're dying to see Seth wrestle. He always wrestles.
Yeah, I mean, they should cross 700K, right? Right? Am I being crazy here?
I think they should be aiming. Well, hope, because they've done what they can with it. I guess now they should be hoping for like a 0.2 at least.
Oh, I forget you're an adult. You do the demo. That's my bad.
Okay,
fair.
Is next week like a super card, or it's just like this?
They're doing this 2-week thing called Gold Rush, I think. So it's like you've got Braun versus Seth next week.
Okay.
And then you've got then the week after you've got Baron Corbin Mello, and then on one of those shows as well, I believe there is a North American title match where Mustafa Ali is a guest referee. That
will get him in.
Again, Wesley and who?
I think is it? Let me double check, because I believe it is Wesley versus Tyler Bate.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'd probably rather watch Mustafa Ali wrestle than referee, but
it is.
Then, give me, it's the big strong boy we're talking about here.
Yeah, so like the thing that they're doing with it is like, like Tyler Bate and Wesley, like like the proper like happy-go-lucky baby faces, both of them are, and like the friends, etc., etc. When there was in that triple threat title match on, the last pay-per-view Pyramid Live event that they did. And of course, it's caused some tensions, but they're still playing it like the friends. And now Mustafa Ali's came in, and he's also a babyface, which makes this even more like. This is what I mean. I don't know what Sean's doing half the time. So there's 3 babyfaces in it. So Mustafa Ali comes in and he's kind of just like, yo, you two guys are great. It'd be really great to see you guys go 1-on-1 this time, really competitive, And they're like, I don't know, man, he's my boy, blah, blah, blah. And obviously Mustafa Ali's like, no, I'll be in the middle of it and da-da-da, like, I'll make sure it don't go off the rails, blah, blah, blah. So these are the stories they're cooking down there, Even with Mustafa Ali is loved by everyone on the internet. Tyler Bate is like, he at one point was like a legitimate prodigy, like he's a great wrestler. And Wes Lee is literally, he's like the workhorse North American champion, So you've got the talent there to like really cook something, and
this is what Sean's shuffling up.
It's so yeah, seeing a graphic with Mustafa Ali in the black and white, it's crazy out here, bro.
So no one here has a chance to turn, right?
Oh, surely on. Based on what Monty described, Ali must have a chance.
Who would turn here?
It has to be Ali, man. It has to be Ali.
They can't turn Ali back heel, bro. They can't.
Okay, hold on. Unless Monty's explanation was he has asked two fellas to fight each other and has said, "Don't worry, I'll be in the middle." It has to be Ali, right? This is
the
incredible.
only way I see Ali agreeing to this is he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll just be a heel in NXT then
Sean,
get back to the main roster. I need to be a babyface again."
Owen and I now fantasy booking an angle we have not seen one second. Tremendous.
It's crazy down there, Tony D'Angelo's been arrested, and we're trying to figure out who the rat is.
Was that like a month ago?
Yeah, bro.
Long-term storytelling.
My fault.
You gotta miss it. He's been locked up, bro. Like you can't just walk out of prison. Like,
that's what Dom did. He came out over his own.
He was gassing. So, he was Tony D's a real one. You know what I mean? I've got him, man. And Stacks is trying to figure it out. He's like drawing up the blueprints with like the string boards that you see on like CSI and shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
And he's like,
the Tony D stuff looks fun, man. It really does.
It is, man. I love him all.
Two Doms obviously survived and then turned state's witness. That's what happened, dude. He told it. He's on witness protection now.
Maybe. I think he's sleeping with the fishes. It's stuff like that. But yeah, we believe it's Gallus.
Oh, bro.
Gallus are the rat.
Oh, Jesus! Where?
They're the tag champ. They're the tag champs, bro.
Grow up, money. There's no need for that. Don't bro.
I will be drinking fine wine when Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo are the NXT Tag Team Champions.
All right. That's fair enough. As long as you enjoy yourself, man.
It's long time storytelling,
Gallus. Oh.
Fuck it, yeah, I know.
Have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they're like, "I am fans of the professional wrestling tag team Gallus"?
The worst thing is, I just was like, yeah, I agree. This Tony D stuff looks fun. I was coming around to the idea.
I was wondering who was on the other side of this.
We're thinking Gallus. I was like, what? For what?
Bro, $2. Appreciate it. Ayo, there's a certain tatted guy who did walk out. ...
Who's the
Bobby
tag
Fish.
guy we're talking about here? We talking about Pepsi, man?
Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish.
A man of his word.
It's a man of principle, bro.
Good shit. Jacob Donnelly, $10. Appreciate you very much. Hoping the rest of the Collision card is announced and it's all hitters to make a statement. Not trying to watch Punk in the main event with an undercard of Brock Anderson and Brian Pillman Jr. matches.
That would be crazy.
Fair enough, brother. That's
take
very
it easy
fair.
on Brock Anderson, Jacob. But I understand.
I have a feeling that's where Collision's headed.
No, he's absolutely correct.
Give it a month. We'll see what's on that undercard in a month.
That's the key, right? Is like, I think Saturday's probably going to be loaded. But it's in a month, 2 months, because Rampage initially was crazy. And I thought Rampage had a great 6 months, honestly. But you definitely, it's not so much this week, it's to kind of the Teo's point, it's in a month's time, where are we at? What happens if the ratings are not where they want them to be? Do they kind of concede on that? That's the real key, the long-term kind of health of the show.
I think the only thing that Collision has going for it that Rampage absolutely did not is, Punk, who obviously has TK's ear, is always going to go to bat for Collision. He's not going to let it be.
Yeah.
He's not going to let it turn into Rampage, so to say. But
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt 6 months from now we're saying that Collision is SmackDown to Dynamite's Raw. I don't think they're going to be seen as equal in the distant future. Even in the near future.
Well, I mean, also, you kind of have to, when you look forward to 6 months, I don't think it's unfair to kind of wonder where Punk is then too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even putting everything else aside, Punk got hurt in his last 2, and I don't mean that as like a spy on him. Like, I don't want to weaponize a guy getting injured. It is what it is. It's wrestling, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And he's an older guy, and he's also, believe it or not, slightly temperamental, and he can get mad sometimes. Shit can happen with Punk. I'm just saying. So
Really?
that's the other thing is too. Like, there's definitely scenarios here where we get a few months down the line and Punk is not, he's not on Collision anymore. Then what becomes the show? I don't know, because I'm not sure all of those top guys on Dynamite can be like, yeah, line me up for Saturdays too.
Yeah.
Like that could be an issue also. So we'll see.
Because whether Saturday it's gonna end up being like what, like 2K people a week, 3K, like is that where it's gonna settle around about? And it's also not gonna bring as many viewers. And also, people want their weekends, whether they're professional wrestlers or working 9 to 5 or not. People want their Saturday and Sundays. So it's just like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of things working against it.
Brian Buster, 199. Y'all expect any New Japan guys tonight? I'll be honest, I'm not super caught up with what their like schedule is at New Japan and when they're doing what. So I'm probably not the best person to ask this. But I'd assume if there is a gap, then we maybe. If there is a gap where they can send some people over, then maybe.
Apparently, there's some buzz about like we're going to find out about Sonata's opponent or something.
Yeah.
So you may get like a video or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Kevin Kelly said something on commentary on one of the New Japan shows that I saw.
Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, man.
They're just doing like road tours tonight, so it's like I'm not tonight. In the near future, so it's like they're not booking like Okada's not getting booked and stuff right now in New Japan, but that doesn't mean that he's over here. I don't know. I'm not expecting anything really. It'd be nice, but
absolutely.
This is an interesting one. This is probably the worst trio you could have sent this into, though, brother. Mavs Fan 84, 199. Rank Seth Rollins as a worker against AEW's top guys. I'll try to be objective.
I don't rank him as a worker against AEW's top guys. I'm not a Seth Rollins fan. Don't think he's
Where would I put him?
Don't think he's great. Can't catch you. Definitely be around top 50. Top 60.
Yeah, this is a really good question for another panel because I think we're all going to be in a very clear. I have grown to appreciate Seth freaking Rollins for what he does, and he's really, really over, and his matches have heat because of that, and his comeback is great. I just wish his stuff had a little more crack, a little more snap.
Good on Seth for getting as over as he has.
Yeah, because he really is over. Like, it's kind of... I watch some of these TV matches, man. It's incredible. Like, they love him. But he's not my personal favorite, to say the least.
I don't
I'd say top... I guess top 10, 15.
That's crazy.
Okay, but this is important though. Mavs fan says
I'm trying to be objective.
No, but this breaks down.
I'm trying to think of like what the perspective, what the the perception of Seth Rollins as a worker is as a consensus. And trying to fit that in of where that is with AEW's top talent.
I respect it, but it's against AEW's top guys. Who is the top guy in AEW who you think Seth's better than inside the ropes? That could be more interesting. Also, to be fair.
Oh.
This could
so let's start from the top of AEW's best workers. So Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. No. AO, who would you say next?
Let's see. So you said Danielson and Omega. We got Claudio. We got
Don't think he's better than Claudio. Don't think he's better than Hangman. Don't think he's better than Moxley.
We got Mox. We got who else we got?
Oh
man, we got Nick Jackson.
Adam Cole has come up in the chat, folks. I'm sorry to say that I'm gonna
He's better than Adam Cole in the ring,
I'm planting my
I'll say
flag.
that confidently.
Yeah, I'm there.
Look,
I'm there. That's my
Look,
guy.
I'm a huge Adam Cole fan. Huge Adam Cole fan. Fucking love Adam Cole.
Yes.
Are people having debates?
That's where we settle on this.
Listen, are people having debates of Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins in ring, like on the timeline? Like, is this like
No, but like if we're going to be fair, he's one of the top guys, and I would say that Seth Freakin is better than him. I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree. I tend to agree as well. So there you have it. We got there in the end,
That was shameless. The way that I just turned that into a Cole.
Like, I don't even think the biggest of Adam Cole fans are like, oh yeah, Adam Cole's top 15 bell to bell. We love him because he's a huge star, bro.
Good pro, man. I'm with you absolutely. He's also
and I like Cole in ring. Don't get me wrong, I like Cole in ring, but I think his star power is all encompassing act, not so much what he just does bell to bell.
It's also worth again reiterating that he's had like 4 or 5 matches since he came back, right? Like, it was a pretty scary injury. So I think tonight is going to be interesting in that regard. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
100%. Pizza Dog 499. Appreciate you again. Baron Corbin is going to beat Mello for the title, and I will consider it a hate crime. Wow, very strong stance.
Is this something actually possible, Monty?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Gotta say.
that would be...
No, but Ziggler beating Braun was a shock. So
Ziggler did beat Braun, and they like Ziggler more than they like Corbin, but they also like Braun more than they like Mello. So
I don't know about any of this. I just want to compliment Baron Corbin on the gear that he's working national television shows in.
It's crazy.
I haven't
seen
some of them.
When he ripped his t-shirt off to chop him yesterday, that was just fucking. That was fine wrestling right there.
I mean, he looks like he's about to go straight to his fucking gimmick table to sell me some 8x10s. I mean, this is the kind of wrestling I'm looking for.
Bro, what are these shorts?
The shorts and the train.
In a shooting sleeve? Like, what's going on here?
He's in the shooting sleeve, yes. It's incredible.
He just got these shooter boots on, too. Like,
yes. Every part of it's funny. Every part
He's
of
still
it's
got the old music as well. Like.
So if anybody's wondering why Triple H said, get this dude the fuck out of my face, look no further than his ring gear.
It looks like he lost his gear.
He just threw on anything, bro. He's like, all right, I got some workout clothes and I got my boots on me. Let's make it happen.
God bless. And my Star Wind. $5. Getting to listen to y'all while in the arena waiting for Dynamite to start is excellent vibes. So, man, you got a big show to look forward to, man. You're gonna enjoy it, man. I'm sure you are. Shout out to you.
On-site reporting tonight. Where's Manny, bro? Just couldn't get it done.
Izura Hart, $5. Appreciate you again. I think Collision's ratings will sting, and we'll start seeing talent exchange. Elite on Collision, Punk on Dynamite, rotate top draws. That's already been said that will happen. So not the ratings of Sting, but as in the Elite on Collision and Punk on Dynamite.
I think that was just an insurance quote.
Yeah, me too.
Because if Collision's knocking it out the park every week, and Dynamite's also doing well, why would they switch? You know what I mean?
No, I agree. It's an insurance quote, but it's kind of a good insurance quote to put out there.
Yeah, it is a good insurance quote.
It's in fear of going scoops to hear amateur scoops. Everything that you hear sounds like it is an actual brand split, but due to the insurance element that Monty just mentioned, Tony Khan will not frame it that way because he would like to have some freedom to play around with if it doesn't work.
Absolutely.
I think this guess is likely to come to fruition. I think one of the elements at play is what Punk's reaction is internally if the ratings really do stink and they really do suck. I mean, I don't know how he's going to respond to that. I know it could be an issue, frankly. I thought that for a while now, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's it definitely is. Yeah. Okay, so since we're on this subject, I will actually bring up Tony Khan's interviews that he's been doing recently. So, obviously, he's done another one with Brandon Walker of Barstool Wrestling, and he touched on this. He said that he's going to feature certain talent on certain shows, but I haven't drawn any hard lines or locked us into any kind of split of a roster. I think people are going to be featured on certain shows, but I also think that gives us a great opportunity to showcase certain wrestlers on both Dynamite and Collision at certain times and certain stories that can cross the shows. I think the champions of AEW will be champions on every show and, frankly, every promotion in the world. we're not shy about AEW wrestlers going out and taking on the top stars of top competition from other companies. So, like I said, he said that he has not drawn any hard lines or locked in a definitive split roster, probably for the reasons that we just were talking about. But the Super Chat just prompted us to talk about. So,
these 29 interviews, man.
I mean, the one earlier with Thurston and Paulo, they actually, they were kind of like they were poking away at him, and they got some decent answers. They got him to actually answer his questions, and it was good stuff. And obviously, we'll move on to that as well now because we basically just talked about the quote that I was referencing just now. So there's not really much else we can say about it, I don't think, But yeah, that's kind of where we stand on it. Like, it's just insurance policy, What else did he say? So that was the wrestling interview. Then early today, it was uploaded on the Post Wrestling YouTube. The interview with John Pollock and Brandon Thurston. It was interesting. He touched on the AEW Collision ticket sales in Canada. He was just straight up asked about that, and it seems to me like his thinking going into that is that we're going to have an absolutely amazing debut show in Chicago, and people will see what Collision really is then, and people will start buying tickets. That's it. From the interview, at least, that seems to be his mindset going into it. Risky to say the least, because yeah, man, like everyone's been talking. Well, I'll say everyone very loosely, but the Hamilton shows at like what 800 tickets. Then there's like is it Regina? That's at like 1,100, 1,300 tickets or something like that.
Shows? Is there saving Hamilton?
I think there definitely is, bro. Like, if it does go how Tony Khan is obviously dreamt it in the perfect scenario in his head, and that Chicago debut is like incredible. There's hot angles going out of it where you're wondering like, Samoa Joe's gonna have a big match in 2 weeks, and Miro's gonna do this in a week, and da 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 da. Then I think like they can do some stuff. It's obviously with CM Punk being such a big star as well. If he's doing like not really good, interesting stuff that will play out throughout these shows and stuff gets set up for these shows, and I think they can, save it. But I guess that depends on what your definition of save it is. Because I think if they can get a respectable little 2K 2,500 in there from the point they're at, that would be seen as a success. I think.
It feels like a lot of the Hamilton show specifically. Again, there are other issues at play. But it feels like a real victim of like the way they've booked these venues is insane. Like they're running Toronto the pay-per-view the weekend before, right?
Bro,
and then in Hamilton the Wednesday before. Yeah.
They were originally apparently. No, they even spoke about this on the Post Wrestling interview. So I think 3 of the Canada venues, so Regina, Hamilton, and another one, they were booked anyway before Collision was announced and sorted. Right. They were booked anyway for House Rule shows. So like there's actually been tickets on sale for those venues for an AEW event for like a long, long time. But obviously nothing's been announced or anything for them other than now it's going to be Collision instead of House Rules. But yeah, like I said, no one knows anything that's going to be on these shows, and I do think there is some. Like quite a bit of validity to like what Tony's saying. So people don't know what Collision's going to be, bro, and like that is also a problem. Like people should have a bit more of an idea of what it's going to be. I think so.
They only have so much money, man. I mean, these tickets are not cheap for these shows in Canada, and if you live in Hamilton, long before Collision was announced, you probably decided you were going to make the trip to Forbidden Door. And then they were coming to Hamilton. You said, well, that's good. I can see Dynamite, in my hometown. It's like, then you can do it on foot. I mean, it's a lot. And again, I'm not, again, there are other factors at play. And yes, shooting some angles and people realizing that Collision is going to be a big deal will help. But I think there needs to be some looking into like the way they've handled this tour. To me, anyway. And I'm not an expert on the matter to say the least. But it looks like a mess to me, the way they've booked this, the way they've laid this thing out. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely criticisms.
If any of those final wrestle tickets tweets say 1 point anything, just clear out. Because I'm going in, brother.
Clear
I
it
got
up.
some things I want to get off my chest.
Less so.
Y'all
Less
better
so.
pray. Y'all better pray. None of those Wrestle Tickets tweets say 1 point anything before showtime. I will get spiteful.
We all know you will. You know, there's no. I don't think you shocked anyone there, my guy. Right. What else? What else did Tony touch on in this interview? He didn't outright say it because he can't. But it seems more obvious than ever that, of course, with the Collision deal being announced and everything, like it was kind of a given anyway, even though it hasn't been, super confirmed. But it seems like AEW is going to be staying with Warner Brothers Discovery for at least a foreseeable future. It seems like they have, they've activated the 1 year extension, which they had the option for. It's just like I said, Tony can't quite say it exactly.
Mhm.
So when Brandon Thurston was talking about this and talking about the potential of the 1 year option being activated, and will we see AEW on TNT and TBS in 2024? Tony Khan was basically said, I would expect that. I can't say too much because of our contract with WBD, but I definitely think we're planning into 2024 for that, and hopefully for a very long time. It's a great relationship, and I'd like to be here for a very, very, very long time. I'm grateful that we're here and have been putting new content on TBS and TNT every single week since 2019. And he finishes by saying, I believe we should be here for a long time. I'd really love it, So, Tony's obviously very happy where he is currently. It seems like, again, at the very least that 1 year extension has been activated by Warner Brothers. But like I said, Tony can't outright say it seems, or he's at least committing to not saying it until he does like the full on announcement. So yeah, I guess I don't think that surprises anybody.
No.
It seems like they've got a really good thing going, man. Tony's allowed to do like the reality show. He's got 2 TV shows, like 3 TV shows on their programming networks now. He does these specials for them that draw good numbers in comparison to everything else on TV. Strength to strength. It's just, I think the thing that most people are interested in is when they sign an actual new deal, not the 1 year extension that it seems like they're going into. What the figure will be,
Of course,
what will the figure be? What's the figure that's going to get reported? Right. What's the official figure? Blah 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 blah. That'll be the really interesting thing because I believe at the moment they're on 45 million a year. TV's changed a lot. AEW's changed a lot since then. There's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more content on their program, on their network, like I've just mentioned. So I think that's the real. That's going to be like the real, like. Mm-hmm. Discourse starter, like what the actual figure is going to be. Because, like I said, I don't think anyone's too surprised about Warner Brothers Discovery probably activating that 1 year extension. How big of an increase do you think they'll actually get?
Should be massive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like
how big.
So you said 45 now.
Yeah.
But this is for the whole package, I'm assuming we're talking about. Because they now got 3 TV shows. So that's the new number will be the whole package, right? Because previously the number has just been, we knew the Dynamite number, and they've added stuff since. So you'd assume the official press release will be the whole package, you'd guess, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we got to be looking at a 9-figure deal, haven't we?
Overall, yeah. Overall, you mean, right? Like the whole
yeah.
term.
Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, fucking what's the reality show to do? What's it called again? All Access.
All Access.
Specials basically whenever Warner Bros decide they want one. Yeah, man. Like, I think they should be getting like 100 mil. At least.
Yeah, I would agree.
At least. Look at the WWE. WWE's next deal is going to be like unfathomable. I think like the sort of money Nick Khan's going to pull in for this next deal.
It's insane, man. It's wild. Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out like because streaming is going to be baked into this next deal. I think there was some talk today about like negotiations are ongoing for All In, but like it sure feels like it's going to be the start of their streaming partnership with HBO Max and such. That's the way it feels. Purely guesswork, folks. But yeah, they're going to get paid an awful lot, and that's going to secure their future in a way that was unfathomable when this got underway. And I've said this previously, and I'm not trying to paint AEW as this like massive underdog story because ultimately Tony Khan has got an awful lot of money. But if you'd have told people in October 2019 this is where they'd be at, like I think people would have said that was pretty fucking impressive. You know, we're talking about the pros and cons of a third TV show. It is sometimes worth trying to step back and saying, "My God, they've got a third TV show." So yeah, I think it'll be okay. Is the conclusion basically?
Yeah, man. It seems like like Tony said in the interview, he's very, very, very happy and hopeful that he stays there. And it seems like they get it, man. You know, in the sense of like they really are into the the wrestling business. Like the TNT got back into the wrestling business and they're doing it in a big way. You know, they're loading up their channels with all this content, and AEW is providing it. And with TV going down and live content being in more and more demand, wrestling is one of those things outside of like I guess real sports that. They can provide you just a plethora of loads of live content and just even if it's just content for content's sake, which we've unfortunately seen a lot of with WWE in recent years. Hopefully we don't get 3-hour Dynamites. But we will see how that all plays out. Short-Town Spurs got a super chat here, $5. I just do not see what others do with NXT. Ali is a guest referee and Corbin main event in pickup basketball gear. Just keep it developmental. I don't know what you're referring to as what others see in NXT because it's not exactly this critically acclaimed, popular, widely loved show at the moment.
I do see a pocket of people who are like, "Yo, this is better than Raw and SmackDown." Like I see people saying that shit.
There is.
I don't even see that much anymore. Like there was a time where I saw some of that, but like not now.
I don't watch it, so I can't really comment. But I would like to note that Kiwi in the chat earlier put it more generously. He said Corbin's dressed for Summer League, which I thought let's show some respect to this. And they're a nice pair of shorts. You know what I mean? You gotta give. No, but I honestly don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know what to tell you. Ben Dixon, $5. Love to the controversial Twitter provocateur Joe Hulbert. Yeah, he's always just triggering people, man.
Yeah, just trolling left and right on the top.
Me and my agendas, fellas. Disgusting. Me and my agendas, the trouble they get me
in. MA799, appreciate you very much. Join Joe for Late Night Grind this AM in Sydney. And now, Wrestle Purist before Dynamite, learning from the best about making towns. All hail Romford Joe. Absolutely.
Romford Joe is an incredible just moniker to give me. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, look, man.
Other side of the globe, brother,
I appreciate it. And, that's the kind of example I want to set is having the work rate to do many podcasts, which is definitely a greatly admirable thing. That's what we all aspire to, right? Like, some people are actually, they're out there achieving things. What fucking losers. Here I am. You see my podcast schedule recently?
Just making these towns.
I'm putting this out there now. It's a Wednesday night. Fuck it. I text Monty. I want to win Wrestler of the Year this year. I am now making it official.
He did actually text me that.
I would like to win Wrestler of the Year in 2023. Now, some of you listening to this saying, how are you going to win Wrestler of the Year as a podcaster? Instead, I say, learn graps. Because I think, if you look at my schedule, I think it goes 89 Flair, 05 Samoa Joe, 2015 Roderick Strong, and now we're slowly penciling it in. We're engraving 2023 Joey Bing Bong. That's what I'm looking at right now. So please email Dave Meltzer accordingly, folks.
Yeah, get him in. Get his drawing statistics. Someone pull him up.
That Hogan schedule where you could work 400 days a year because of time zones.
I should go with that. That's a good bit. I mean, back pocket that one. That's good.
Good shit. Appreciate it, MA. but yeah, elsewhere in the Tony Khan interview, he talks about kind of, he does outright say that AEW Dark and Elevation will come into an end, at least for now. It seems like Ring of Honor is kind of going to take the place of developmental. He didn't outright say it, but he does say that like Ring of Honor is a place that is going to be important for the development of AEW. Is the actual quote. Yeah. So we'll see what goes on with that. And he also talks about like now there's no Dark and Elevation. Of course, there's opportunity to advance talent in Ring of Honor. Also looking into excursions and stuff like that. So that could be interesting.
Excursions is a great idea. Yeah.
Excursions.
Ring of Honor is like, it's one of those things where you just say, I have to concede and say it's probably the right role for Ring of Honor. Like when you have free TV shows, like burying your head in the sand and being like, actually, we need to put top guys in Ring of Honor is probably not the best way to do it, as much as it pops me. So it's probably best to use it as your kind of NXT of yesteryear, I guess.
I hope no matter what Ring of Honor turns into, they give me a reason to watch. Because I'm just not watching right now, bro. Like, I'll go on my way and catch the Shibata match or the Sabre Jr. match or whatever Claudio's up to. But he wasn't even at the last tapings. It's just, I'm not watching Ring of Honor right now, bro. And I want to watch Ring of Honor, but they're not giving me a reason to. So.
Bro, I genuinely feel like that's how most AEW fans that are even remotely open to the idea of watching a Ring of Honor. I think that's how a lot of them feel, like you'll pop in and you'll watch the Claudio and you'll watch Zack Sabre Jr. because you remember a lot of AEW fans were formerly New Japan fans, like locked in, and a lot of them still are. So they're interested in people like Zack Sabre Jr. coming over, Shibata coming over, even things like Wheeler Yuta's defenses, Daniel Garcia's defenses, and stuff like that on there. Samoa Joe. But like they're doing so many matches, and they have kind of made it like a glorified Dark at this point.
Honestly, bro,
it's tough. It's tough.
I've dropped off even from some of those guys, and I think the only person I actively at the point of watching everything they do is Athena, because unfortunately we don't, and like I'm that's worth my time, and I know I would enjoy the latest Zack Sabre Jr. match on, but like show just hasn't got any juice, man. Anyone who's watched my stuff before, like I love the idea of watching Ring of Honor. And I got myself excited. If you go back, there was a show we did after the tapings where we got real fired up about some of the stuff we heard. And then there was a point where we all went, wait a second, this was 4 episodes, And it was like, and it's got crazy since then. So it's a shame. I'm hoping the new schedule that's coming up,
helps,
with that being, I'm hoping that will help. I'm not convinced, but we'll see.
It's one of my biggest grievances with it is kind of how close it has become to Dark, in the sense of like, I don't mind if it's going to be a developmental, but the thing that I always hated about Dark in terms of like anytime I try to watch it from start to finish is it's literally like it's just matches, like it's just match after match after match after match after match after match after match, and it's like none of them really have any hooks to them or whatever, or any like real reason for happening, Not even like from a storyline perspective, like just even like why are you even doing this sort of thing? Like it's not even like you're getting a young guy reps or whatever. Even when I truly believe sometimes they think they are, like throwing a young guy out there for like 3 minutes on a Ring of Honor Universal tapings, fucking, it's not doing anything for anyone, bro. Right. It's not like a TV show, Like if it was a TV show with the Ring of Honor green talent, people that you want to keep down there plugged into it, and they all have their roles on the show, sort of thing, then that would be a lot more watchable.
Absolutely.
We've just spent however long ago just kicking the shit out of NXT, but it's like at least like it's a show. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not just these shitty matches that they do one after another after another after another. At least they like try, like we was just popping ourselves how shitty some of the angles and storylines are, but at least there's stories and fucking angles and shit on the show. Ring of Honor, it's like you might get a backstage segment or a little interview here and there, but it's like the angles are few and far between. There's a couple storylines here and there, but like nothing really feels like it's got any great magnitude to it. It's just shit just happens on there, Like it's just shit happens on there.
I have to be clear. I can only co-sign it so much because I genuinely haven't watched a full TV for a while. That was certainly the way it was initially in terms of like, I mean, the Supercard build helped because it gave them a direction.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, especially when they had those touring TVs, it very quickly became like, there was not a lot to sink your teeth into, unfortunately. I don't know. It's not for me right now, but maybe it will be soon. I'd hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right, mate. You seem very solemn at this.
It's just
right.
interesting because we was
so excited, man. Him and Manny, they were just so fired up for Ring Honor TV.
But as well, we was all in, mate.
You
Put all our chips in, bro. You know,
you gotta let it go, Chief. You just had a moment there.
Run an angle,
you look devastated.
Run
You're
a
right, mate.
angle, you know. Like,
yo, you don't even want to make content anymore. Like that's how much this is affecting him.
He said it's over. It's finished. Don't worry about it, Chief. It'll be okay. Take it easy. Right?
I caught the end of what you were saying because I was looking at a super chat I was about to pull up and then
super chat. You say okay?
Yeah, then I've caught myself and realised how it looks from me just kind of looking off into the distance.
Yeah,
you know,
it was very funny.
remembering the days. You know, like, missing the shitty camera angles and. The New York feel to Ring of Honor.
There was 5 seconds of absolute silence, and I just said, "You're right, mate."
Good timing on this podcast, you know. Some vets around. Like this was, but imagining this, you know, this is through me. Cody Willis, 199. Joe, can we get AO on the late night grin to Grin Along 2005 TNA?
AO pulling up to the Grim Pack zone, I'm down, man.
You'd get like the pop that Sid got when he went to ECW that time. The place exploded. We all feed and take a choke slam. The Oracle of Wrestling and AO colliding on a podcast could be a great piece of business. I mean, certainly. I mean, I will say, I don't want to talk for you here, AO, but you're a little bit expensive. You know, we're a small territory, run locally. You know, we have to discuss that off the air, but we'll see. I know you'll draw a house.
It's good with me.
We'll see. But that'd be a blast for sure.
Showtime Spurs, $2. Can't wait for Anna Jay's excursion to Club Venus.
Pop.
The idea of Anna Jay hitting a Club Venus dance is hilarious.
Oh, man. These excursions. This being the first excursion we talk about is fucking, you know. Anna Jay in Club Venus, you know, the excursion everyone's waiting for.
This is worth noting because last week we did the preview and we got a little bit spiteful. I actually thought Anna Jay had a pretty good showing last week on Dynamite. So
yeah, it wasn't bad.
You know, like obviously Chris was doing a lot of heavy lifting, but I thought she looked better, so that's good. Take your wins where you can get them, folks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Sometimes you got to know the talent you're dealing with, and that's not always a dog. It's just kind of, you know, not everyone's even going out there and trying to have a fucking 4-star match every week, you know.
A nice little match, yeah.
Some people are just trying to get the character over, and you know what I mean, or whatever the fuck they're trying to do.
I think there's a certain amount of talent in AEW where when they get thrown on TV and they're not like the conversation of the timeline about like over embarrassing themselves, you got to take it as a W, man. Like when people don't get, you throw Anna Jay on TV, give her a 10-minute plus match, and you know the timeline's just not thrashing it. You gotta take that as a W.
Take your wins when you can get them, you know. All right, let's talk about Dynamite. Of course, the big thing, you know, the big thing on the show: MJF versus Adam Cole. You all right, Joe? Yeah.
There's 10 minutes left of this show, and I'm thinking, I think we've covered about everything. It's my internal dialogue was, this has been a nice little show. We've talked about NXT and Monty goes, all right, then let's get to Dynamite.
I like to save it for the end because it's about to start. People are fired up, you know. MJF versus Adam Cole. World Championship Eliminator match. If Adam Cole wins this match, he will get a real title shot at MJF. Where do we see this one going? Quick thoughts, Joe Hulbert.
I believe after discussing it with Late Night Green Universe, I believe that Cole's going to have Max beat and Max is going to take some kind of shortcut for a DQ or something. They're going to get out of a real finish here, I think.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, and this is very nerdy, I know, but my main interest is not the results so much as I think this match is a really good look at where Cole is at right now. Because for all of my criticisms about Adam Cole in the past, I think these two are capable of having a really good one, actually. So I'm excited to see this. I mean, I'm interested to see it. In terms of the finish, I think they have some kind of opt-out, some kind of way out of it. We'll see.
I think the crowd will play a very strong part in this. Yeah. Which will be hopefully a good thing, because if that crowd's not really into it, and it hasn't quite got the juice that we want it to have, then it could be a bit of a weird one, But yeah, I can see that, Joe. I can see that 100%. Joe, what do you reckon, AO? Do you think Joe is onto something, or do you think we get a real finish?
No, I think it's gonna be DQ. Adam Cole gets like a visual pin, and then MJF gets caught using the Dynamite Diamond Ring or some shit like that. I don't think he's gonna get pinned by Adam Cole, but they're definitely not gonna end the story here. So some tomfoolery is gonna be afoot. I hope it's really good. I feel like all my fears of an Adam Cole babyface run that I had before it happened are like coming true, and I feel like I think this could be a turning point tonight. I think this could be a turning point. I'm expecting good things. Hopefully, let's see.
Maybe, possibly, potentially. This will get you fired up though. The Elite.
Yeah, man.
The Hung Bucks versus
We're back.
Claudio, Mox, Yuta, Blackpool Combat Club. Big business, big trios match. Nearly as big as it can get, really. Very, very close to AO as the spokesperson for the Elite. Your thoughts?
We got a lot of things. We got a lot of moving pieces. Moving and shaking right now. This could go either way. I assume the Elite lose. I assume there's going to be some post-match tomfoolery. I think it's easily going to be match of the night. It's a loaded card, but I think this is easily going to be match of the night. This could main event a pay-per-view right here if you built up to it, and they're just giving it to us. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, it is what it is. So I'm excited, man. Real fucking graphs on Wednesday night. None of that Jacob Friedman nonsense.
Joe, how do you see the finish to this one going? Do you think it'll be a dominant win for Blackpool Combat Club? Do you think the Elite can get a win here? Do you think it'll be some tomfoolery? What do you think is going on?
Well, I think the Elite are going to win here, actually. I feel like you've given Yuta enough in the last few weeks that he can take this fall without it. He's, my God, they've given him so much love in the booking as of late. Not undeservedly so, to be clear, but I don't think it hurts him Elite to get pinned here, right? Often people kind of viewed Yuta previously as, he's the pin eater in the group. And it's like, he's been so the opposite as of late. I think tonight he can be the pin eater. I think it's intriguing as to the developments, but just to AO's point, this match is going to be spectacular. The talent on display here, I actually think it's kind of gone under the radar, just how great this could be. We'll see how much time they get. But I'm really excited for this one, personally. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it should be a good one, definitely. Another World Championship implications here. We've got AEW Women's World Championship match between Toni Storm and Sky Blue. We've got the underdog story going on here. We've got Sky Blue.
Fired up, Monty. Fired up.
Tell us why, Joe. Tell us why.
Because Toni Storm made a point of singling out Sky Blue as a potential challenger for this belt, right? They run it on a house show, I'm almost certain. And now they're taking it to TV. And while Sky Blue obviously has a ways to go, I think it's been very obvious that she has made serious strides. Mm-hmm. She had a match with Athena in Universal Studios that, Athena obviously is about as good a wrestler as you can wrestle if you're someone who's got a ways to go, and she made her look even better than she is. But Sky Blue was no passenger there. She threw some physical blows. She was in it, man. She was trading bombs with Athena for a bit of that match. And Toni Storm brings it in that regard. So I'm not saying it's going to be a classic or anything, but this is a good chance to see where Sky's at. And the Athena performance and many other performances for that matter have been encouraging. So hopefully she can build on it. And this can kind of be a good start for Tony's latest reign to kind of get that revved up too. So I'm actually excited for this one.
Mm-hmm. Fairs. I tend to be with you, to be honest. See what Sky Blue's really made of. It's one of those matches, AO. You into this? You fucking with this at all?
As someone who used to banter Scott Blue a little bit on the timeline, as someone who used to say get her the fuck off my television, I cannot have an agenda against a young talent who has a TV contract that goes out and wrestles every weekend to try to get better, taking as many indie dates as they can, and has gotten better. So she definitely has a ways to go, like Joe said. I heard that 4-way match wasn't the best. I didn't catch Rampage last week. But I think really highly of Toni Storm. I think she's great in ring. I think they're capable of having a good match, just like Athena and Scott Blue had. I love that match.
Yeah, man, should be a good one. Another title being defended, TNT Championship, Wardlow versus Jake Hager.
Oh fucking brother!
Big balls, locking horns, Joe.
Champions Carnival, brother. Maybe tonight's the night, folks. Maybe tonight is the night where it all clicks for one of wrestling's great prospects at the age of just 41. Can Jake Hager crack the code and become a world champion once again? Television champion, but a champion nonetheless. So we're locked in. JR and I are really locked in on this one. It's a big matchup for us.
Definitely. I mean, hopefully they just fucking go out there, throw bombs, right, throw bombs and get out of there.
You're gonna go what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes? Like it'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. What else we got on this card, man? Mogul Embassy versus Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Sting, Keith Lee. Mogul Embassy, ayo. They're we thought we was gonna have a champion, but didn't get one. Seems like we're going. I'm not sure where this direction will lead. I'm sure this will be a good time, though. What do you think, Ayo? What do you think we get coming out of this as well?
I definitely think Sting's undefeated in AEW. I think that continues tonight. I think they're gonna go back to the Keith Lee Swerve match. Just get it the fuck over with. I know there's been chatter of that happening on Collision. So that would be a good match for a debut episode of Collision, man. It's a big match. It's what people. But whatever you think of Keith Lee in 2023, you can't deny that this is a storyline that AEW fans are invested in. Whether it be online, they're talking about it every week still. Like, when the fuck is this happening? Or in the arena, bro. People were like, there was that Vegas crowd was not great for Double or Nothing. But every time Swerve and Keith Lee interacted, they exploded, bro. Like fans really care about this storyline. So I think that's where we're going. Sting, Darby, Orange Cassidy. Who's the last person in that match? Keith Lee. Fucking
yeah.
I think they win tonight. They win tonight over the Mogul Embassy. I think Swerve gets his win back on Saturday. And I don't know what happens with everybody else. I don't know what happens with the champ and all that.
Yeah, I know. Joe, you expecting a good time now?
Oh, this should be a great time. This is a proper party match, you know? So there's a lot of fun to be had here. It's putting a go 10, and there's a bunch of different set pieces you can play around with. Probably best for everyone that Toa Leona is kept a solid distance away from Sting. And I say that as one of the biggest Toa Leona fans in the world, but you gotta look after the old fella. Yeah, he's a wild man. I love him. He's a wild man, but I really like the Gates of Agony, and Brian Cage is there, and he's fine. But
that was quite spiteful.
Look, Keith Lee, especially in this current form, teaming up with Sting, is real fucking graps, bro. I mean, that's what this sport is all about, So there's a lot to like here. I think this will be a great kind of party match for the show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it should be good stuff. But yeah, the show is about to start, so we're going to get out of here.
Yes.
My quick plugs would be, of course, as always, like the video, which I've done a poor job of mentioning throughout this video. So if you're still here, please do like it. If you're logged in, please do it. We need those likes. Subscribe if you haven't already. That's always appreciated. I mean, I was going to get there, but fuck it.
I didn't think you fucking saw it, bro. It's up. Bro, $2 super chat. Punk on a run, Punk Joe Singles in Hamilton.
He better not. They're going to need a hot crowd for that one. They don't need 900 people.
Yeah. Oh, brother. But yeah, usual plugs. Like, subscribe, super chat. We always appreciate every single one of you who watches, and especially those of you who super chat. And those of you just, tag along in the live chat. Like we always say this, we have the best live chat in wrestling podcasts. We do. Plugs Jamie's Stardom Guide, of course, Stardom Guide 2023 by Wrestle Purist. That is on our page right now. There is also a Joshi draft on our page right now, which is a bit of fun if you're into that kind of thing. And what else have we got? Joe's weekly match guide that is on our website. We have the Dynamite review tomorrow. We're going to do a Collision preview as well. Discord link in the description. WrestlePurist.com, at WrestlePurist on Twitter, yada yada yada. On Purist on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Joe Hulbert, Late Night Grin, Connoisseur. Anything else? Anything else, people?
Very good. Very good.
Watch the Backup Cuckman's Sunday podcast. I was on it. It was fucking hilarious.
Doing good numbers.
That out on Purist on Fridays. Come fuck with us.
You need to tell me if you ever want to work that Sunday date in future. You got to tell me because that apparently that was a pretty good payday. I'd like to get myself.
Beautiful stuff.
I'm not gonna be there every week. I can't deal with Hangman that often, bro.
Wow.
We'll make sure we correlate. That's fine. We'll be in touch.
Well, on that note of Joe being a corner.
Yep.
Peace.